Hi y'all, today we're going to be talking about my loadouts, and what I run, why I run them, and hopefully just kind of showcase what I like running, what I think is worth running, what I think is not worth running, and in general, how I play the game. So of note, on all of these loadouts, the guns are not the concern. These loadouts do not actually largely change based on what primary I'm running, and the primary that I am running is usually just whatever I need to put the Araxian metal on. So we're really going to be looking more at what makes up the loadout rather than the actual firearms within the loadout. We're going to start at the Infiltrator, work our way down to the Heavy, and then we'll call it. So, starting off with the Submachine Gun Infiltrator, this is actually probably my simplest build of them all. I'm running the Recon Gun, I'm running Hunter Cloak, Adrenaline Pump, Frags, Medkits, Assimilate, and Avoidance. So the reason I run the Recon Gun over the Motion Spotter is because it just fits my playstyle a lot more. I don't think the Motion Spotter is that good anymore, personally. It requires far too defensive play for myself, and being able to spam out recon darts is really good for getting, like, rapid knowledge of a zone, and it prints a lot of XP early. Hunter Cloak has always been my favorite cloak. I think Stalker Cloak is boring as shit, so we're not even going to talk it. I have not run it in multiple years. Nano Armor Cloak is not bad, but for me personally, 35% reduction while cloaked is not a big enough benefit to compensate for the lack of uptime on said cloak. It's very strong, don't get me wrong. Nano Armor Cloak is good. It's just, I prefer having more uptime on the Hunter Cloak rather than the ballistic prevention on the Nano Armor. Now, in the suit slot, I run Adrenaline, but honestly, Advanced Shield Capacitor is good too, and Ammunition Belt has its purposes. I just like having the extra move speed, especially because as a cloaker, you're usually running quite a lot, so I find that the extra move speed is very nice to have. Shield Capacitor is great, of course, on everything. And the Ammo Belt's reload speed buff is useful. Of course, it depends on the actual primary you're carrying, but it's still a very, very useful perk to have. Now, I went frags. I never bought EMP grenades. I don't like them. So, I just like having frags. Fusion's funny for, like, stealth stuff, but other than that, I just run frags. Medkits, of course, because how else am I supposed to sustain 1v1s? I don't like anti-personnel mines, they're for shitters. And, of course, Assimilate is just great if you can actually headshot reliably, you get extra shield for it. And Avoidance is a personal pick because I hate Spitfires. Now, compared to the Sniper Rifle loadout, the build actually really doesn't change at all. If I'm running a bolt-action Sniper Rifle, I would probably drop Avoidance for, like, Critical Chain, but other than that, the build actually largely does not change. For the Light Assault, again, primary doesn't matter, it's just whatever shotgun or carbine I need to put the Araxium on, same for the pistol. I run Rocket Rifle with no ammunition, Skirmishers, Ammo Belt, Impulses, Medkits, Athlete, and Avoidance once again. So the reason I don't run any ammo on the Rocket Rifle is because it gives up too much versatility for me. Flak is very, very nice just to say fuck you airplane, so that's why I don't run Typhoons, and I find Sabo is just weird and kind of strange to use. I've never felt comfortable with it. I really don't like any other jets than Skirmisher. I hate Drifters. I really hate Drifters. I don't think Ambushers give me the versatility I need, and Icarus are fine, but I generally prefer the more balance of Skirmishers. They're just fun to use. I never feel like the jets let me down with Skirmishers, whereas with the other jets, I always felt like, oh boy, I wish I had Skirmishers in this situation. Pursuit slot, I usually run Ammo Belt or ASC. Ammo Belt's great since I'm using shotguns currently, so having that extra reload speed is really, really nice for close quarters combat. But Adrenaline Shield is, of course, or not Adrenaline Shield, Advanced Shield is just great in general. Grenade Bando is really, really nice with impulse grenades, but it drains you of nanites really, really fast, so you have to watch out your usage. Of course, I run Impulses, because Impulses are fun. There's pretty much no reason to run anything else anymore. Impulses are just fun, give you a lot of mobility, they're just fun to use. Medkits, of course, over C4. I just like having Infantry 1v1 sustain, and C4 doesn't let you do that. I don't find C4 super fun to use, ever since they nerfed it, and in general, I find it just a little too specific in the situations where it's actually useful compared to Medkits, where they will keep me alive for a long time. Athlete is just a nice little perk for, of course, better agility. It's just really, really nice to have. And Avoidance is particularly because I hate Spitfires. If I was running a Carbine, I would probably drop Avoidance for Assimilate. Other than that, I like Avoidance. It's just really nice to have. On my Medic, of course, same story as always, primaries, we don't care. Now, I run Shield Medic, and this is pretty much focused on the rest of the build, so bear with me here. I understand that Nano Region Medic is generally better and sets up the Carapace build. However, I play a very defensive Medic, and I like Shield Bubble, so it's my loadout. Screw you. I really like Shield Bubble. It's a lot of fun for me to use. I like the situations it gets me into, and of course it has its own unique directive, so I gotta do it. I run ASC. Of course, nano regen is fine if you're going regen build, but I like ASC, especially because I'm already kind of spec'ing the shield build. Fusions, because they're funny. I still don't have revive grenades at ASP 88, because I'm quirky like that. I run medkits, and I run Assimilate, Manyfield. Assimilate just makes you tankier if you can actually headshot reliably, and Manyfield makes the shield regen bubble even better. Not that it's still very competitive, but I still like it. You get 300 AoE heal, basically from your shield bubble and yourself, and this actually works as a self-heal, meaning that if you're really feeling ballsy, you could draw medkits for C4 here. I don't, but you could. It just means that your shield recharge bubbles become basically like a bastion of sorts, where as long as someone's within them, it's... I mean, they will die, but they have lots of really good sustain, and you print a lot of good XP off them. For my engineer, of note, in the primary, I tend to run an anti-material rifle, but I'm currently running a carbine. I run Explosive Bolt QCX because fuck maxes. I run AV Turret because fuck maxes. I run Flak because fuck maxes. I run Frags because fuck maxes. I run Tank Mines because fuck maxes. I run Logispec for convenience whenever I'm driving. And I run Ammo Printer for convenience whenever I'm driving. Of note, for other implants, counter intel is really, really nice as long as someone in your vehicle has it, because it means that as long as someone damages you, you will spot them and you can find them. If you've got a pesky anti-material rifle engineer or some shitter ground-to-air lock on heavy, as soon as they damage you, they get spotted and you can delete them. Really, really nice to have. For heavy, of course, same story as always, especially for the rocket. It's literally just whatever. I'm currently working on a Varaxiuming. I don't care if I have a lock-on launcher or not. I just use whatever I need to put a metal on. I run Adrenaline Shield. Notably, it's not very upgraded because I've been Varaxiuming rocket launchers on my heavy for most of the time, so I've been mostly using NMG. But Adrenaline Shield is really, really good if you can actually kill targets effectively. ASC, of course, on heavy for the extra sustain, but Ammo Belt is nice too for reload, especially given how atrocious LMG reload tends to be. I run anti-vehicle nades because fuck maxes, medkits because they give you way more sustain, and of course Assimilate Athlete because Athlete gives you better agility, Assimilate gives you better uptime. It's as simple as that, really. My loadouts are actually not that complicated. I run largely meta outside of fuck maxes, and I like medkits, so that's all. I actually don't have a whole lot to say. This is what I run. My build is, at the end of the day, mostly focused on Araxiums and directive grinding, because I'm that kind of shitter. So, I know, if you want some different loadouts, or if you are looking for a loadout suggestion, try one of these. They're what I've been running for the past 4 years at this point, so... Shout out to Kapiron on Discord for suggesting this video, because I will do that now. And thank you all, and I will see you all again another time. Bye.